What if I told you there's an ancient text that delves into the mysteries of angels, giants, and the secrets of the universe? But it's been hidden from most of the world for centuries. The Book of Enoch was once celebrated, even quoted in the Bible itself, but it was ultimately banned. Why? Stay with me as we uncover the top 5 reasons this forbidden book was cast out of history. The Book of Enoch wasn't always seen as controversial. In fact, it was deeply influential in early Jewish and Christian communities. It offered a window into a cosmic drama that captured the imagination of ancient readers, providing vivid descriptions of angels, divine judgment, and the secrets of the heavens. Here's where it gets fascinating. The Book of Jude, found in the New Testament, directly quotes Enoch. In Jude 1 verses 14 to 15, it says, "Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them, see, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone." This passage mirrors Enoch's own words, suggesting that the book held significant weight among early believers. So, if it was so respected, why did it fall out of favor? The answer lies in its overwhelming popularity. The Book of Enoch offered a narrative so bold and detailed that it began to challenge the boundaries of orthodox doctrine. Its vivid stories of angelic rebellion, forbidden knowledge, and divine secrets went beyond what many religious leaders were comfortable teaching. In a time when controlling religious narratives was vital to maintaining unity and order, the Book of Enoch posed a problem. Its ideas were seen as too mystical, too speculative, and potentially destabilizing. As a result, religious authorities made a clear decision: to protect the canon, Enoch had to be cast out. But the question remains: was it suppressed to guard orthodoxy, or because it revealed something too dangerous to be widely known? Imagine this. It's a cold evening in an ancient Judean village. A scribe sits by a flickering oil lamp, carefully copying a manuscript onto a fresh scroll. His hands tremble, not from fatigue but from awe. The words he's transcribing are said to come from Enoch himself, the man who walked with God and was taken to heaven without tasting death. These words hold mysteries, visions of angels, a celestial rebellion, and a coming judgment. But centuries later, this very text would be declared dangerous, forbidden, and erased from the sacred canon. Why? Let's dive into the first of 5 reasons why the Book of Enoch was cast into the shadows. Picture the early days of Christianity. The faith was still in its infancy, growing rapidly but fragile, with different communities holding onto slightly different beliefs. Among them, the Book of Enoch wasn't just popular. It was revered. Its pages were filled with epic tales of angels descending to earth, the mysterious Nephilim, and a vivid portrayal of heaven's secrets. In one small community, a group of believers gathers at dusk. Their leader, an elder with a deep, commanding voice, begins reading from Enoch's words. The people are transfixed as he describes the Watchers, heavenly beings who betrayed their divine posts to teach humanity forbidden knowledge. The congregation murmurs when he speaks of how the Nephilim, giants born from this rebellion, brought chaos to the earth. The elder's voice grows somber as he reads Enoch's prophecy of judgment, a warning of the day when even the stars would tremble before the Creator. These stories weren't just tales. They were considered profound truths, offering a glimpse into the unseen spiritual battles shaping their world. And then there was the undeniable link to the New Testament itself. In the Book of Jude, the author directly quotes Enoch. "The Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to execute judgment on all." It's a powerful moment. Enoch's words are tied to Christian scripture, lending them an almost divine authority. So why would such a text be banned? Here's where the story takes a turn. As the early church grew, so did the need for unity. Leaders began to worry about the effect Enoch's vivid, almost fantastical imagery could have on the faithful. The Book of Enoch painted a cosmic battle between good and evil, angels and humans, with enough detail to spark endless speculation. Was this divine revelation, or dangerous distraction? A council of leaders convened, and the consensus was clear: the Book of Enoch, despite its influence, had to go. Its popularity had made it too risky. If every congregation began fixating on the Nephilim, the Watchers, or the mechanics of heaven, it could fracture the unity they were desperately trying to build. So, the book was quietly removed. Forbidden. And yet, it couldn't truly be erased. Fragments of Enoch's influence remained in the Bible, whispering reminders of a forgotten text that once captivated the faithful. However, the very effort to suppress the Book of Enoch may have made it even more intriguing. After all, what could be so dangerous that it had to be hidden for centuries? And what truths might still be waiting to be uncovered within its pages? High above the earth, the watchers stood at their posts, tasked with observing humanity from afar. But something stirred within them: curiosity, desire, rebellion. They broke their sacred oath and descended to earth, and what happened next would change the course of history. The Book of Enoch tells a story so controversial, so unsettling, that it was buried for centuries. Let's uncover why. Imagine a time long before the great floods, when humanity was still young, struggling to survive in a harsh and untamed world. According to the Book of Enoch, this was when the Watchers, a group of 200 angels, made a fateful decision. Tasked by God to observe and protect humanity, they instead chose to descend from heaven and take human wives, breaking divine law. This wasn't just an act of rebellion, it was the spark for chaos. The Watchers didn't come empty-handed. They brought forbidden knowledge, secrets never meant for human eyes. They taught men how to forge weapons, turning tools into instruments of war. They revealed the mysteries of sorcery, divination, and enchantments. They even shared the secrets of the heavens, knowledge of the stars and the movements of celestial bodies. At first, humanity might have felt empowered by these gifts. But the price of this enlightenment was far greater than they could have imagined. From the union of the Watchers and human women came the Nephilim, giants described as mighty, yet monstrous, beings. These hybrids were not mere legends, they were described as towering over humans, their strength unmatched, their appetites insatiable. They devoured resources, animals, and eventually even turned on humanity itself. The earth became a place of violence and despair, a shadow of the paradise it was meant to be. Here's where the story takes a chilling turn. The actions of the Watchers and the havoc wreaked by the Nephilim brought divine wrath upon the earth. According to Enoch, God declared that the Watchers would be imprisoned in a dark abyss until the final judgment. As for the Nephilim, their spirits would be cursed to wander the earth as evil spirits, tormenting humanity for generations. But why did this story cause such controversy in the early church? The tale of the Watchers and the Nephilim painted a vivid picture of divine beings interacting with humans, blurring the lines between heaven and earth. It raised uncomfortable questions about the nature of angels, free will, and the boundaries of God's creation. More importantly, it shifted the blame for humanity's corruption. Traditional theology emphasized human responsibility for sin, stemming from Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. But Enoch's account suggested that much of humanity's suffering and fall into sin came from external, angelic influence. This narrative threatened the core teachings of the Church and created theological tension. The story of the Watchers and the Nephilim is a powerful one, a tale of rebellion, forbidden knowledge, and divine judgment. But could it also be a warning? A glimpse into the dangers of seeking knowledge we aren't ready for? Or perhaps, a message about the consequences of crossing divine boundaries? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The Book of Enoch doesn't just recount ancient history. It dares to peer into the future, unveiling vivid prophecies of judgment that shook early readers to their core. But were these visions too unsettling for the powers that be? Close your eyes and imagine standing before a great celestial court. The air hums with divine energy as angels, too radiant to fully comprehend, stand as witnesses. In the distance, a figure like fire and light approaches, a vision of God's final judgment. This is the scene the Book of Enoch lays bare, and it's no wonder that these prophecies stirred so much controversy. The Book of Enoch is filled with stunning visions of the end times. Enoch himself is portrayed as a kind of heavenly messenger, taken up into the heavens to witness God's plans for the world. He describes a day when all nations will be held accountable, where the righteous will stand vindicated and the wicked cast into eternal punishment. What makes these prophecies so compelling and dangerous? is their specificity. Enoch names specific names, pointing out the fallen watchers by title, recounting their sins, and the judgment that awaits them. He foretells a great flood sent to cleanse the earth of the Nephilim's corruption, and he describes the ultimate defeat of evil forces at the hands of God's holy ones. But Enoch's visions didn't stop there. The book speaks of a Messiah, a chosen one who would come to bring justice and restore balance to creation. It's a startlingly clear prophecy of salvation, one that many early Christians saw as a foreshadowing of Jesus Christ. For the religious leaders of the time, this was a double-edged sword. On one hand, the book seemed to affirm Christian teachings with its messianic prophecies and warnings of divine judgment. On the other, its unflinching descriptions of cosmic battles, angelic rebellions, and apocalyptic events were far too volatile. They were seen as fuel for speculation and division among the faithful. In a time when maintaining order and unity was paramount, these prophecies were considered dangerous. Could a flood of unregulated interpretations tear apart the fragile fabric of early Christianity? Could the graphic depictions of judgment inspire fear instead of faith? These were questions the early church couldn't afford to ignore. The prophecies in the Book of Enoch are bold, vivid, and unrelenting. They force us to confront questions about divine justice, the fate of humanity, and what lies beyond the veil of time. Perhaps that's why the book was set aside, not because it lacked value, but because it demanded answers that the world wasn't ready to face. The Book of Enoch didn't just challenge the imagination. It challenged the very foundation of religious authority. Its teachings clashed with mainstream theology in ways that made it impossible to ignore. But what made this book such a threat? Picture a council of early church leaders, gathered in a dimly lit chamber, poring over sacred texts. Each scroll is weighed carefully, its teachings scrutinized for consistency with the emerging Christian doctrine. When it comes to the Book of Enoch, the room grows tense. Its words are powerful, even poetic, but they present ideas that don't sit easily with the church's developing theology. One of the most glaring points of contention was Enoch's portrayal of sin and salvation. In traditional teachings, humanity's fall and redemption are central themes. Sin begins in the Garden of Eden, with Adam and Eve disobeying God's command, but Enoch complicates this narrative. It shifts the focus of corruption to external forces, the Watchers and their influence on humanity. This wasn't just a theological tweak. It was a fundamental shift. If angels were responsible for humanity's corruption, where did that leave the doctrine of free will? And if the Nephilim's destruction required divine intervention, what did that say about human responsibility for sin? These questions struck at the heart of orthodox beliefs. The book also painted a complex picture of the afterlife, one that didn't align neatly with the church's teachings. Enoch describes multiple heavens, each serving a different purpose. He speaks of places of torment for the wicked and realms of peace for the righteous. These detailed accounts, though fascinating, risked creating confusion among the faithful. Then there was the issue of the Watchers. By depicting angels as fallible beings capable of lust, rebellion, and failure, the Book of Enoch challenged the church's view of angelic perfection. It also opened the door to debates about the nature of spiritual warfare and the influence of unseen forces on the world. For church leaders, these ideas were dangerous. They feared that such vivid, speculative imagery could lead to heretical teachings or even cult-like movements. The church's mission was to unify believers under a single, cohesive doctrine. Allowing a book that introduced so many theological gray areas threatened to fracture that unity. In the end, the Book of Enoch was excluded from the official canon, deemed too controversial and too risky to preserve as sacred scripture. But even in exile, its influence lingered, inspiring countless debates and interpretations that persist to this day. The Book of Enoch dared to challenge the status quo, offering a narrative that was as captivating as it was controversial. Perhaps that's why it was silenced. Not because it was false, but because it forced the faithful to wrestle with questions that had no easy answers. Despite being banned and cast out of the canon, the Book of Enoch refused to vanish. Its words endured, traveling across centuries and continents. But how did it survive, and why does it continue to captivate us today? The Book of Enoch should have been forgotten, its pages crumbled into dust, erased from memory by those who deemed it too dangerous. But somehow, it endured. Its survival is a mystery in itself, a testament to its power and the unshakable curiosity of humanity. After its exclusion from the canon, Enoch's writings faded from mainstream religious circles, but they were never truly lost. Early Christian sects, particularly those in Ethiopia, preserved the text, regarding it as sacred. For centuries, the Book of Enoch thrived in isolation, cherished and protected by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. It wasn't until the 18th century that its words reached the wider world. Imagine this. A Scottish traveller, James Bruce, embarks on an arduous journey to Ethiopia in the 1770s. After navigating treacherous terrain and immersing himself in the local culture, he discovers ancient manuscripts, the full Book of Enoch among them. When he brings it back to Europe, it ignites a firestorm of interest and debate. Why was this forgotten book suddenly so fascinating? Perhaps it was the allure of its forbidden status, the sense that it contained knowledge once hidden by those in power. Or maybe it was its gripping stories, prophecies, and cosmological insights that resonated with readers seeking answers to life's biggest questions. In modern times, the Book of Enoch has found a new audience. Scholars analyze its historical and cultural significance, while spiritual seekers explore its mystical elements. Its influence can be seen in literature, film, and even conspiracy theories. The tales of the Watchers, Nephilim, and apocalyptic visions feel eerily relevant in a world still grappling with questions of good, evil, and forbidden knowledge. But here's the question: why does the Book of Enoch continue to captivate us? Is it the thrill of uncovering something once deemed too dangerous to read? Or is it the timeless nature of its themes, rebellion, judgment, and redemption, that strikes a chord deep within us? The Book of Enoch is more than an ancient manuscript. It's a story of survival, a puzzle that defied time and censorship to challenge and inspire us even today. Perhaps its survival carries a message of its own, a reminder that forbidden knowledge, no matter how deeply buried, always finds its way back to the light. The Book of Enoch is more than just a forgotten text. It's a challenge to think deeper, question more, and wonder about the mysteries of our faith and history. But what do you think? Should the Book of Enoch have been banned, or does its survival prove it has a message meant for us today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration of forbidden knowledge, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who loves a good mystery, and subscribe for more fascinating deep dives into biblical history and beyond. Until next time, keep questioning, keep searching, and remember, sometimes the greatest truths are found in the most unexpected places.